What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you another video in my Project Pan series. For today's video I'm going to be highlighting my Pan-22 eyeshadow Project Pan, and in this Project Pan basically my goal is to pan 22 of my favorite eyeshadows in different palettes. I rotate through my collection, which I think is really helping me to remember what I have, also maybe not buying as much as I coulda, shoulda, woulda. And it's also just allowing me to keep my collection looking more used and loved. That is definitely a goal of mine this year, is to just use more of what I already have. I'm not opposed to buying stuff. You will see that every month I do still show up a haul where I am, bringing in some form of makeup. But at the end of the day, I also do just want to use what I already have. I do want to just talk about what's on my nails because it's been a while since I've done something out of kind of my normal too. And it is Hollow Taco Matcha Maker, which is the green, and then Night Owl Lacquers Squeeze the Day, which is the yellow. So those are the two shades. I will do my best to link both shades down below in the event that you are interested. My eyeshadow today is using my Project Pan eyeshadow palettes. I did slightly change the tutorial, kind of how I created this look, but the main parts are from that video that I recorded, my Project Pan tutorial eye look. So I will have that one down below, and then I'll tell you guys kind of the extra new things. So I sound nasally, I'm pretty sure. At least I don't sound manly. Anyways, I've been a little bit under the weather. I'm pretty sure it's just allergies, but still waiting for my results to come back from my COVID test. I'm trying to just keep moving forward. Today is all about my Project Pan eyeshadows, so I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's get into it. So we are going to start off with the two that I've been typically starting off with, which are my two Dose of Color 5 pans. So the first one is the Marvelous Mauves palette. So in this palette I am targeting this shade right here, which is Wine Stain, and I once again am using it, but I'm not seeing distinct progress. I am slightly getting a little kind of unmotivated to continue to use this shade, but I am going to try to use this more as a liner product or a liner shade pretty much on all of my eye looks to try and just get through this product. Today I didn't do it just because I had already deepened out that outer V enough that I didn't feel I needed any form of liner, but I will try to start using that as a liner because of how dark it is. I think it will work out, and I also do have some purple liners, so if I need like an actual cream to kind of get that product where I want it to actually stick on the lower lash line or even the upper lash line, I'm going to use that. And I also think it'll work out because I am starting to wear lashes every so often, maybe not necessarily going out, just because I do wear glasses and I don't feel like dealing with that hassle. But when I'm at home and not really intending to leave the house, I will probably start putting a liner on for when I'm putting my lashes on, and then I'll be using that mauve shade to just kind of stamp on that liner. So I'm hoping to get use out of it that way and see some more progress. And then also the Sassy Siennas palette from Dose of Colors, and this is once again another kind of hard to see progress. I am trying to hit pan in the shade Stay Sassy, and as I said before, it is slightly hard to stay dedicated to a shade that is just so compact and so dense as these, but my goal is that I can continue to stay motivated, and if there is a slight little hard pan, to just kind of scrape it off and keep moving about my business. I think of the two shades in these two kind of 5 pans, the Sassy Sienna palette, I'm seeing more progress in it than the mauves, but that literally might just be because of the fact that the Sassy Siennas I've already had to take away hard pan a couple of times just because of the time span that I did not let my eyeshadow primer dry, so it kind of just like congealed on my brush and then in the pan, if that makes any sense. Okay, as always, I am going to leave the products that I did hit pan in last, so let's just keep moving forward. Next, I'm going to go into my Nomad Cosmetics Harajuku palette, and in this project, I have been trying to hit pan in Mushy Mushy. So Mushy Mushy is a beautiful, beautiful duochrome shade that Nomad Cosmetics created, I believe now 2 years ago with this palette, and it's really, really pretty. It definitely has a green to teal base, but that teal is quite bright and more leaning towards blue, and so that has stopped me from really getting a lot of use out of that particular shade because of the shifts that the other shimmers that I have in this project, because of what they give off, it just has not meshed well with those other shimmers. But I am very hopeful that coming up soon I will be able to get use out of that particular shade, not only because I'm just interested in the actual shade, but also for the sheer fact that I just want to continue to hit pan and as many shadows as I can as quickly as I can. So that's that. Then last month I actually put in this project pan my ABH Jackie Aina palette, and my goal was to hit pan in the shade Trust Issue. Now I put this shadow in this project knowing that I'd only be predominantly using this shadow as an inner corner highlight, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to successfully get through this particular shadow in 1 month, not if I was only using it as an inner corner highlight. And for the amount of times that I really get to use makeup and wear makeup, it just didn't seem feasible. So I'm not really disappointed or kind of shocked about how slow it is going with this. I have worn this quite a few times, but you know, like I said, I am aiming to get more use out of it in the future months, because I think it will be really the only shade that I can really use. And so I'm the juices in my head are working, okay? The brain cells are working right now, and I have a plan for what shadows I'm going to be taking out and what shadows I'm going to be putting in. And so I think it's going to be purely like one eye look next month, and so I'm hoping that I will see quite a bit of use out of all of the shadows, because of the shades that I am intending to have in my project next month. The last palette that I did not hit pan in, and I'm really, really saddened that I did not hit pan, is actually my Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. In this palette, I'm trying to hit pan in the shade Cheens. This is what Cheens looks like, and it's a really, really pretty textured, foily kind of metallic, deep olive green. It is what is on my lids today. I've been really enjoying applying this shadow not only with the fluffy blending brush, but I've also been using a flat Eddie Funkhauser brush. I believe this is just his eyeshadow lid brush. I really do like that because it's more fluffy. I do find that I need to actually dig into the pan and then spray my brush so that the formula does not fall down on my face. What I will say though is that I think I am maybe a couple of uses from actually hitting pan in this shade. It is a really, really pretty shade. I can see now why people weren't the huge fan of this formula. This formula is quite weird, and I find that it's just very interesting. Either way, I'm really getting a lot of use out of this particular shade. This is the palette that I actually took on my little mini vacation with me, and I think I put makeup on maybe once or twice. It was only a 3-day weekend vacation, but you know, putting makeup on twice in that weekend is quite a lot for me. So regardless, really, really having a lot of fun with this shadow. And when I only have this palette, I will kind of create a very similar look that I have today with just this palette. So really, really happy with that. And then the palette that I finally hit pan in is my Lime Crime Venus XL2 palette. And in this palette, my goal was to hit pan in the shade Eve, and your girl did it. I am so happy that I was able to hit pan in the shade Eve. Not only is this shade just a really, really beautiful shade, I've gotten an astounding amount of compliments using this palette. I got compliments from a girl at Ulta. I got compliments from somebody at Sephora, and I've gotten compliments from friends and family. This has just been a really beautiful palette to work with. And just kind of tangentially, I'm gonna describe what I did in my crease today. I used Sage as my crease shade. Then I went in to what shade did I use? I used this matte brown in the Dose of Colors. Then I used the green in the Dose of Colors. And then for inner corner highlight, I went into Trust Issues from Jackie Aina. So I've just gotten so many compliments, so much use. And the crazy thing is I didn't even use the browns. This brownie metallic right here, West, is beautiful. It's like a bronzy metallic shade with those browns in the crease. You can get an all brown look. I don't know if anybody picked this up during the Ultra 21 Days of Beauty, but honestly, I would have highly recommended. Honestly, I just wasn't paying too much attention to the 21 Days of Beauty, so I didn't really think to recommend this the week before it released or whatever. But I've gotten so much use out of this palette, and I'm so happy to have finally hit pan. I cannot wait to, you know, reach back into this in the future, but for right now I am gonna go ahead and put this back in my collection. And I already know exactly what palette I'm going to pick out and exactly what shade I'm gonna pick out, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that really quickly, and then of course I will swatch it on the back of my hand so you guys can see the new color scheme that I have in mind. Alrighty, so the palette that I'm actually gonna be bringing into this project, I'm actually really excited for this. This is my Visearts Dark Mattes palette, and I'm going to be reaching for my favorite shade, which is actually this like mac and cheese type shade. So as you can see, there's no real progress at all. I picked this up, I might have swatched it a couple of times, worn it a couple of times, but that's pretty much it. So I want to get some real seen use out of this, and I'm really excited to bring this into this color scheme. It's going to bring me slightly more into the spring vibes, but also still allow me to have some dark sultry looks with that dark sultry green. So let's go ahead and talk about all of the shadows. So first we have that mac and cheese shade from the Viseart palette. Next we have the shade from the Sassy Siennas palette, which is Stay Sassy. Then we have the last matte, which is from the Marvelous Mauves palette, which is Wine Stain. Then we're coming in with the dark sultry green olive metallic from my Friendcation palette, which is in the shade Cheens. Then next we have Mushy Mushy, which is from the Nomad Cosmetics Harajuku palette. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have the Jackie Aina Trust Issues palette, or Trust Issue shade from the Jackie Aina ABH palette. So let's get in close. And I think that I'm going to be able to get so much use out of this. It's going to be definitely unique and interesting. I think keeping this in like a crease transition shade, deepening it out with my Stay Sassy shade, and then, you know, taking the Marvelous Mauves and putting that as a liner, then putting the green to go in conjunction with this orange, and then one of these in the inner corner. I just think it's going to be really interesting, really unique and exciting. And not to say that I've gotten bored, because I definitely have not gotten bored with kind of these basic Betty looks. I think I've definitely had some fun, but I also wanted to kind of add another palette. Not only do we get that orangey shade, we also get some really nice deep shades. I also get some really interesting deep browns. And so I just thought that bringing this palette in, I would get, you know, a variety of different shades. And really with this Project Pan, I found that I obviously get a lot of use, or I attempt to get as much use as I can out of the one shade that is very much being highlighted in the Project Pan, but I also do get some use out of shades that are just also in the palettes that are in, that I'm highlighting as well. I hope that makes sense. I'm still a little groggy because, like I said, I'm not feeling the best. But anyways, I just am really excited, honestly, just for this orangey shade. I'm just so excited to layer that with that green and see what it looks like. I don't distinctly pay attention to color theory, so I don't know if these are opposite or complementary or whatever the other version is. I don't know, but I am excited to try it out, see if I have some fun, and if I don't like them together, I will wear them separately. That's how your girl will rock it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys tomorrow for another video on Saturday. I don't know distinctly what it's going to be, but I am excited. Alrighty guys, bye.